All right. So I just want to clarify one thing Shashanka mentioned earlier. I'd say we're at probably 99% feature parity. There's a few exceptions, which you'll be able to see in the app. But we've also extended some of the functionality that the Ember app has or does not have, rather. So we'll start by just logging in. So you're greeted with this kind of home search screen. This is kind of the jump off point for both search as well as the browse experience, which you guys are probably familiar with. We'll just start with searching some of the data. We have kind of a new, fresh search look here. One notable addition is we've added kind of this all tab, which allows you to see different entities grouped by type. So you can see we have dashboards, charts, users, and data sets. From here, you can go right to the details pages. Pretty similar to what the Ember app has. We have the schema, lineage. One of the notable exceptions in terms of functional parity is we don't have a visualization yet. We're kind of waiting to see what the use cases look like around that before adding it, because it is kind of complex. And we have properties, documents, which you can update, change, similar to the Ember app. Let's see. So the biggest, I think, difference that we're looking at is we've added recently dashboards and charts. So now you can actually see them. Pretty minimal. We're looking to add new types of metadata to the model, but right now we just have, say, for a chart, the source data sets, and for a dashboard, we have the related charts. So we have this kind of like parent-child relationship here. The last kind of functional piece that I think we're really missing that's big is this kind of data sets you owned, charts you own, dashboards you own, tabs in the profile, the user profile page. But that's pretty much it. Browse works as you would expect. Kind of just walk through the file system hierarchy. And then we just had a new addition, the logout button, thanks to the folks at GeoTab for getting that done. And that's pretty much the demo. It's ready for deployment. I've added a Docker quick start React script that you can use. So it's under the normal Docker folder. It's just quick start React instead of quick start, and you'll be able to serve this on port 9002. You can actually deploy both simultaneously if you want to do a side-by-side feature comparison, if you're considering moving over. But one other thing I want to call out before handing it back is we're going to start doing some React office hours that I'll be leading, just dedicated time for people to jump in to ask any questions about any part of the React app, deployment, features, roadmap, how to actually make changes. Again, this is an ongoing process. I think in the future, we have some interesting action items we're trying to get to. One of those things is doing kind of a comprehensive UI revamp of the different entity details pages you saw there, as well as the browse experience, revisiting that. So yeah, I'll kind of send out a link. It'll probably be Fridays for about a 2-hour block. But excited to continue to work with the community, excited to take more feedback. So feel free to reach out if you have any feedback, concerns, considerations around the React app. And with that, I'll hand it back to Shashanka. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, John. I do know that people wanted to contribute stuff back to the UI, and the Ember application was something that was very hard for us to work with the community on. So I'm really glad we were able to make this push and finally kind of get to the point where I think we can start getting contributions back from the community. So I'm really glad that we got our first logout button. Even small things like that make us very delighted. So would love to see the office hours actually start making a difference. Would love to not have to do all the pages ourselves. We would like to have people start contributing new pages. So that'd be great.
Absolutely.
I know that Gabe had something that he wanted to quickly demo in terms of things that he's working on, almost like a sneak preview of tags. So Gabe, do you have a little bit of time to do that?
Yeah, I'd love to. I can share my screen real quick if that works. Yeah, and thanks again, John, for demoing the React app. I'm really excited about the progress that we've made, and I'm excited about what lies in store for it. And also another plug for the office hours. I'll be hanging out there too. And if anyone has some idea of something that they want to extend or a feature that they'd like to see, you can come and we can hack together and try to get something working, and we'll show you around the code base and try to make it as easy as possible for you to extend the app how you want. So the feature that I wanted to give a sneak peek today is adding a little bit of richness to the existing tagging system. And I'm working with Frederick and Mati from Walt on developing this richer tagging system. They're doing an amazing job driving forward the RFC that's hammering out the nitty-gritty details. And I think that RFC is still a work in progress. So exactly how this would be modeled in the backend is still being developed, but this is an exploration of what this richer tagging system might look like in the UI. So you can see this is a sensitive data set that has some tags applied to it. The sensitive data set has this PII tag applied to it. And then also we're able to tag this field, the contact field, by saying that it's an email. In this richer tagging system, we also might want to associate some additional context to a tag besides just the name email. So if we look at this email tag and click into it, it'll bring us to the tags page. And there we can have this extra metadata. So someone can add a description to a tag explaining what email means, but you can also associate the email tag with other types of tags. So here we've associated the email tag and say that it is some personally identifiable information. And the exciting thing here is that with the ability to associate tags with other tags, we can then start to explore this hierarchy of tags. And so we can click through to the PII tag and then see what tags that is associated with. And then on this PII page, you can see, and again, exactly what properties and what metadata we might want to associate with a tag. This is something that is still, we're still trying to hammer out, but this is kind of an example of another piece of metadata that we could associate with. So those the tag lists could demonstrate what tags are associated with what other internal to DataHub tags. But say you would want to also associate, well, what is the relationship between this tag and some definition external to DataHub? So we can say, here is our PII label inside of DataHub, and this is the external definition of it outside of the DataHub system. And then we can also, from there, continue to explore this hierarchy. So this is just a sneak preview of what this tagging system might look like in the future.
Awesome. That was pretty cool. And I'm sure Madhu is getting excited because he had submitted the business glossary RFC, and I think he'll see a lot of similarities to how we're thinking about tags. And so definitely there's something where we would basically wanted to make it as close to how business tags or business glossaries should look like, while still allowing a little bit of free-form capabilities for people to come up with lightweight tags that don't necessarily have to go through a ton of review. So we'll search for kind of the right balance, and so love to work with the community on figuring what that is. Thanks a lot, Gabe.
Yeah, I like that you quickly could able to demonstrate with the tags. Yeah, we're trying to bring in a little more better business context.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So hopefully this tagging system that we end up with, and then Frederick and Mati are doing a great job driving that RFC process, is something that could encapsulate the business glossary terms. So just a slightly, becomes somewhat of a more extensible version of exactly that RFC that you drove.
Hey, I'm curious with the tagging system, what's the thought process in terms of how those tags are generated? Is it done via the UI, or would it be like similar to the other message? How are tags generated and associated to one another?
Well, so again, Mati and Frederick are going to they're working on an RFC that is talking about these technical details. But I think that being able to edit tags or having the capability to edit tags in the UI is something that we would eventually want to support for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think we find like two kinds of personas, right? There's the platform team persona that says, I want to control the number of tags and kind of this explosion. And there are some specific tag taxonomies that we want to make sure are known and understood and are business terms that everyone understands. So, you know, when I was at LinkedIn, we had a compliance taxonomy that, you know, we literally hard coded for the company. And we said, these are the terms. You don't get to invent your new term for what an email is. So I think the platform teams will want the ability to control certain subtrees of the taxonomy and say these tag ecosystems are ours and you don't get to play with them. And then other personas like data scientists and data analysts will want to say, well, but I am team foo and I have my way of talking about stuff. Can I create that taxonomy and either upload it or just manage it using the UI? And I think we will need to support both capabilities.
Yeah, and I think just like big +1 to being able to tie it back to some notion of a business glossary, I think is huge. Like actually tying those data assets back to kind of more ephemeral understandings of concepts would be really, really great.
Awesome. We'll definitely do that.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry if I can.
Okay. And
oh yeah, Mati, did you want to say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry if I can quickly comment here. So I'm from Waltz also, and Frederick has been mostly working on this this RFC, but like our use case also requires like maybe there's like two taxonomies of or two types of adding tags to entities, so that some types of tags can be added through the UI, but for some tags we need to be able to control them and audit. For example, these PII tags, for example, so we can't hide them by accident, or we have to have some kind of audit log there. And then, of course, those types of tags, then people shouldn't be able to create a new from scratch from the UI, but then some other types of tags you could. So that's like the basic use case and need for us.
Cool. Yeah, I think the RFC is open, so please add comments there, and we can make it the right fit for pretty much all businesses that are trying this out. Maggie, since we had you, just did the dashboard and charts page at least look like what you would expect as a first cut?
I had to join a few minutes late, so I only caught the tail end of it, which is just such a bummer. But I'll watch the. Okay. I've been looking. Shashanka sent me a Slack this week. Like, they're like word on the street is that we might have a preview of dashboards, and I missed it.
Well,
but I did see
the
tail end of it, and it looks great. That new UI is slick. Looks good.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so now if GeoTab folks are ready, then we can have John actually take over and drive